I don't really know if this is the type of thing that you subscribe for. I don't even know if this is really something I should be sharing with strangers on the internet, but I'm gonna do it anyways because I think it'll make me feel better. You see, I have this little notebook that I keep on my desk, and when, I don't know, when things just aren't going my way, or when there's something that I need to think about later on, I'll write it in this notebook. And today, things just weren't so good. In the game, especially, but also outside of the game. A few little things got to me, and I didn't deal with it in a healthy way. That's how I'll put it. And I think after you snap like that, sometimes you get angry, but sometimes you snap and you feel a level of anger that you don't often feel, and then you feel like a hopelessness, like in the pit of your stomach. Like there is a level of clarity afterwards, and all you can think is, I want to be great. Like this sounds insane, but all you can think is I want to get back to it, but I don't know how. I'm so scared that I'm going to get back on the game and I'm going to get angry again, or I'm going to get back to doing whatever I need to do today, and I'm just going to be angry the whole time. And so there's like a buffer period there where you sit around, you feel sorry for yourself, you feel hopeless, and you don't do shit. And in that little buffer period, I've started to write more and more little notes to myself. And so I'd like to read you what I wrote today. And I know this probably isn't what you came here for, so if you leave here, I get it, right? But if you do take the next couple minutes to hear me out, to think about things with me and leave a comment of what you think. That's not like a weird plug, by the way. That would be a very strange way to plug interactions. I genuinely mean it. If you if you sit here for the next few minutes and you have a thought, leave in the comments. This is a safe space, I guess, is what you could call it. Anyways, here's what I wrote. I put, I'm so tired of being mad. I wrote angry, but I actually crossed it out because I think mad is a much better way of describing how I felt. It's much more visceral. I don't know. It just described how I felt a lot better in the moment. And then I wrote, it stops me from being myself. It stops me from doing what I want to do. It stops me from reaching my potential. And I fear it's an issue that stretches far greater than Street Fighter ever could. And it's a problem that I must solve because I can't go on like this. And then I went 2 pages. I got a little crazy. And I feel like the anger and the dissatisfaction with myself is spilling out in different ways. Like even the most mundane things sometimes irritate me that have nothing to do with anything, you know, like I stub my toe or something, I get irrationally mad at myself. I think it's just a dissatisfaction with me. I think it's a deeper problem. And then I wrote, but it really burst out of me when I'm doing things or when I'm doing something that I care about, something that I really want to be great at. And maybe I just don't know how to deal with setbacks. Maybe I just don't know how to healthily care about something. I genuinely don't think I've ever applied myself or tried as hard as I do in YouTube or for Street Fighter compared to anything else in my life. Like I cruised through school, I cruised through college, I never really tried at anything. I've never cared about anything, really. I think in high school, I think in school in general, it was just not cool to like try. It was like not cool to try your best in school because everybody always thought you were a nerd. So that kind of got ingrained in me. But now ironically, it hurts me more than anything. I've never had to deal with a setback because I've never put in enough effort to be set back. I've never had to deal with putting in so much effort and not getting the results that I want to, because if you put in no effort, whatever result you get at the end, you just kind of accept usually. Sometimes I think it's crazy that I made it all the way to 24 without ever like realizing any of this or like thinking about it. And I wonder if this is like if people realize it this late or if some people wish they realized it this early, you know what I mean? And I really don't, I just don't feel like I have an anger issue per se. I think I just have an issue with how I approach these things and how I approach failure, I guess, because it's very hard for me to see it as a learning opportunity, as you should, right? Every time you lose, it's a learning opportunity because of like I guess how often it happens, or maybe because of who it happens against, right? Like I feel like my ego maybe makes it feel like I should be beating this person that I'm losing to, and instead of learning from them, I just kind of brush it off as like, oh, I got randomed out by like another platinum scrub. Even though the ironic part is that I'm also a platinum scrub, right? It's such like a crazy negative feedback loop because you get into the game you start losing, you get angry, then you can't think, right? Like you can't think about the game because you're so angry. Then you lose and you say, all right, I got randomed out. I'll just queue up another one. Surely I can't lose again. And then you get into the game, you get angry, you can't play the game, then you do the same thing over and over again. It's reminiscent of Tilt, but I just feel like it's more, I feel like it's deeper than that. And I feel like there's a way to get over it. Like in Street Fighter 5, I had almost the same epiphany. I made a video about it. I think the video is called How I Got Over My Plateau or something like that. And basically, I just said I was tired of being angry, so I stopped being angry. And what a fucking lie that was. But for the next, like, 2 weeks after I made that video, I played probably the best Street Fighter I've ever played. Like, I just wasn't mad at the game. I wasn't mad at myself. I wasn't mad at the people I was playing. I just had such a clear mind that I was able to play the game, and I played super well. And it only lasted like 2 weeks, and then I reverted back to whatever terrible mess I kind of am now. And I always try and go back to that headspace, but I just can never figure out what triggered it. And I always try to take these little notes to myself so I can maybe figure it out again. And maybe the whole time it's just been as simple as telling myself I'm tired of being angry, because that's really that's really all I did. Because I remember even afterwards, when I would start getting tilted again and angry, I would say I'm tired of being angry. I'd say that to myself over and over again. But when I was in that headspace, like when I was in my prime headspace era, when I wasn't getting mad at people, I never had to say things like that to myself. I just didn't get mad, and I don't know what else I focused on that let me play like that. That just didn't let me get angry. But I'm pretty confident I can get back there, because I just I just miss it so much. I just miss sitting down and enjoying not only the game, but just like other things like YouTube and video editing and all this other stuff. I feel like lately I've just been really irritated. But like after, like I talked about that clarity earlier, after you get super angry, I didn't really feel as hopeless as I usually do. I more so felt like almost relieved in a sense. Like I knew that it was coming, that I knew I was gonna get super mad. But once it happened, I was like, okay, like you're over it, you got it out of your system, and I think you're on a better path now. Like it was gonna happen. Like you boiled over. It's whatever. But it's like the actions that you take now are going to define the future. It's not like all that other shit that's been going through your head and like messing with you. But yeah, moral of the story, I am just tired of being angry. So this time I'll get over it. That's my 8 minutes. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.